In today's lecture, we are going to discuss about transcription in prokaryotes and eukaryotes. If you remember our previous session in which we have discussed about the transcription unit, which comprises of three parts. One is promoter, another one is structural genes, and the third one is terminator. Promoter is the region which initiates the transcription, structural gene is the region which codes for the messenger RNA, and terminator region is the region which stops the transcription. In today's session, we will look into the transcriptions happening in prokaryote and eukaryote and how they are different and how they are similar to each other. Let's start with the transcription in prokaryote. Before I go in proceeding slides where the whole process of the transcription of prokaryote is noted down, let me make you understand first the process of transcription with the current slide which is projected. Now if you can see in the slide, there are three steps of the transcription in prokaryote. The first one is initiation process, second one is elongation process, and the third one is termination process. When we talk about the template strand, or when we talk about the prokaryote, in case of prokaryote, the transcription unit possesses it is a polycistronic kind of transcription unit. That means it can secrete or it can form any type of polypeptide chain from a single structural gene. So here the transcription is very much easy, or it is very much simple, because transcription and translation happens in cytosol and they are coupled up together. Now what is translation? When we say transcription, transcription is the formation of messenger RNA, a kind of a Xerox copy of the information from the DNA which the cell is going to need it. So it is the formation of messenger RNA from the DNA, and translation is the process that from the messenger RNA which goes out of the nucleus and attaches itself to the ribosome, and the formation of the protein chain occurs, that is translation. So in case of prokaryote, whether it is transcription or translation, both of them, they are coupled up together and it happens in cytosol. Moreover, the messenger RNA which is formed in the prokaryote doesn't need any post-transcriptional modification, which we are going to study in the eukaryote after some time. Here the messenger RNA which is formed is the functional RNA, and it can be immediately used for the translation process. Now what does happen in case of transcription in prokaryote? The first step which we talk about, that is the initiation step. This initiation step is the start signal where a factor called as sigma factor, you can see this this round one, yellow one with a sigma factor written in it. This sigma factor, it recognizes the starting signal of the DNA chain, and with the help of this sigma factor, the enzyme, that is RNA polymerase, it attaches to the promoter region to initiate the transcription. So with the help of sigma factor, this RNA polymerase attaches itself to the promoter region, which is the starting point of the transcription. Then this sigma factor helps in the attachment, and now this whole unit will start moving ahead and will start making the messenger RNA. You can see in the second this diagram, which is called as elongation. Now in case of elongation process, what is happening? The RNA polymerase, which is now initiated, starts transcription of the structural gene, and in due course of time it's going to lose this sigma factor, because now the function of the sigma factor is over. But this RNA polymerase continues to polymerize the ribonucleotides, and finally it is going to form the messenger RNA. You can see that yellow color tail like structure being formed behind, and this RNA polymerase, the enzyme, is moving ahead gradually towards the 5' end of the template strand so that the secretion will keep on, the formation of the messenger RNA will keep on happening. This process is called as elongation. Now the third one comes, now once the messenger RNA touches, you can see in the second actually strand itself the word is written as terminator. Now this is a region where the transcription has to end. So in this last step, that is the termination step, when the RNA polymerase reaches this terminator region, with the help of another factor which is called as Rho factor, this RNA polymerase, it gets separated out from this transcription unit. That means RNA and DNA hybrid. When these two things are happening together, we can call it as RNA DNA hybrid. So this RNA polymerase gradually detaches itself from this processing unit with the help of a factor called as Rho factor, which is present in the terminator region, and then this yellow color strand which you can see, it is a messenger RNA which is now going to be separated out from the DNA. Now this messenger RNA is ready to go out of the nucleus, go and attach itself to the ribosomes and start the translation. That is why in prokaryote we say that this is a functional messenger RNA and it does not need any processing. Moreover, the enzyme called as RNA polymerase, which has played the whole role of transcription, is a DNA dependent enzyme, and in this case it is capable of transcription of all the three types of RNA. It is capable of transcription of messenger RNA, transfer RNA, ribosomal RNA. So it can deal with all the three types of RNA. It does not need different types of RNA polymerase, which we are going to need it in case of eukaryote. So in case of prokaryote, the transcription is very simple and it is very fast. Just now let us go through the slides where the write-up of it is given. The first one, in bacteria, the transcription of all the three types of RNA that I was telling, messenger RNA, ribosomal RNA, transfer RNA, is catalyzed by a single DNA dependent enzyme called as RNA polymerase. RNA polymerase has cofactors, that is beta, beta dash, alpha, alpha dash, then along with W, along with sigma factor to catalyze the process, which we have discussed just now. Transcription is completed in 3 steps. First one is initiation, second one is elongation, third one is termination. What happens in initiation? Sigma factor recognizes the start signal and promoter region on the DNA, which then along with the RNA polymerase binds to the promoter to initiate the transcription. So here the transcription is started at the place of promoter with the help of sigma factor. Next one, elongation. The RNA polymerase, after the initiation of RNA transcription, loses the sigma factor but continues the polymerization of ribonucleotides to form the RNA or the messenger RNA. That is what I said. Once the elongation moves on, sigma factor gradually removes itself, but RNA polymerase keeps on polymerizing the transcription. The last step, that is the termination. Once the RNA polymerase reaches the termination region of the DNA, the RNA polymerase is separated from the DNA RNA hybrid, and as a result, nascent RNA separates. Nascent RNA here means the messenger RNA. This process is called as termination, which is facilitated by the termination factor, which is called as Rho factor. Let us move ahead. In prokaryote, messenger RNA does not require any processing, so both transcription and translation occur in cytosol. So transcription and translation are coupled up together. That's what I am saying, that once the messenger RNA which is formed, it is the functional RNA and it does not need any post-transcriptional modifications. So this is the prokaryote transcription. Let us look into the transcription of eukaryote, how it is similar or how it is not so similar. Before I go through the whole write-up of it, I am also just moving ahead the slide so that I can just focus the diagram of the transcription in eukaryote. Now in case of eukaryote, when we talk about the transcription, it is much more on the similar lines of the prokaryotes. It will also have the sigma factor, it will also have the RNA polymerase as an enzyme for the transcription, it will also have the terminator factor which will be controlled by the Rho factor. So all the things which are there in the eukaryote, it is there in all which is there in the prokaryote, it will be same in case of eukaryote. Just the difference which is there, if you remember what has happened in prokaryote just now, what we have explained, same thing will be happening here also. So they have not, in this slide you cannot see that all the 3 steps of when we say about the initiation, elongation or termination, they are not shown here. Directly what they are showing is that now the messenger RNA which is formed in the transcription of the eukaryote on the same lines how the transcription happened in the prokaryote. That is, I am just repeating in a little faster way, that the initiation with the help of the sigma factor, promoter region RNA polymerase is going to join, then RNA polymerase starts the elongation, it will start transcripting the structural gene and the formation of the messenger RNA will keep on happening. As the elongation starts, gradually the sigma factor is going to be removed and this RNA polymerase will keep on moving ahead and keep on transcription till it reaches the terminator genes present on the DNA, and with the help of the Rho factor, this RNA polymerase will be separated from the RNA DNA hybrid and nascent RNA or the messenger RNA will be formed. So here the third step, that is the formation of the messenger RNA, is shown here. So in this case you can see messenger RNA, you can just, if you see it very carefully, it is having 2 regions. You can see this brown color region and the yellow color region. Now what is it denoting is that once the nascent RNA separates out from the transcription unit of the DNA, it comprises of 2 types of regions. One region we call it as we call them as exon, and another one we call them as introns. Now this brown color region here is depicting introns. What are introns? They are non-coding sequences. So they interrupt, they don't have any kind of functional nucleotides present in it for the translation, that is the next step. Whereas exons, which is denoted here by the yellow color, they are the functional units of the messenger RNA. So once the messenger RNA or once the nascent RNA is separated out from the transcription unit, it contains both of them. In case of eukaryote, it will have exon also and it will also have intron. But what we want is that messenger RNA, which will be the final product of the transcription, should not contain introns, should not contain non-coding sequence. It should have fully coding sequence present in it. So for this, once the nascent RNA is formed from the transcription unit, in case of eukaryote, it has to go for post-transitional modification. And this post-transitional modification is termed as splicing. And this splicing, you can see the in the diagram also, RNA splicing. This RNA splicing is divided into 2 steps. One step, you can see, it is called as capping, and second step, it is called as tailing. Now what happens in capping? In case of capping, an unusual nucleotide which is called as methyl guanosine triphosphate is added at 5' end of the RNA. Now the nascent RNA which is separated from the transcription unit, we call it as hnRNA, that is heterogeneous RNA. Heterogeneous RNA meaning it is having exon and it is also having intron. Now we have to convert this hnRNA into mRNA. So for making it as mRNA, it has to go for the process called as RNA splicing, and the first step of RNA splicing is capping. And what happens in capping, that at 5' end, methyl guanosine triphosphate nucleotide is added. Second step, it is called as tailing. Tailing will happen at the 3' end of the hnRNA, and what happens in that it will have got the addition of adenylate residue. So adenylate residue, which will be around 200 to 300 units in number, they will be added at 3' end of the template in the independent manner, and the process will be termed as tailing. So this capping and tailing is called slicing, RNA slicing, and this is the post-translational modification. And once this thing happens, the messenger RNA which is formed, or you can say that from hnRNA, heterogeneous RNA, the final RNA which is formed, final messenger RNA is formed, is devoid of introns. It is now only having exons, so it is the functional messenger RNA which is now ready to go out of the nucleus. One more difference which is there in case of transcription of eukaryote from the prokaryote is RNA polymerase enzyme. Now if you remember, just now I told prokaryote only needs RNA polymerase for catalyzing the transcription of all the three types of RNA, messenger RNA, transfer RNA or ribosomal RNA. But in case of eukaryote, there are three types of RNA polymerase present for catalyzing different RNAs. First one, RNA polymerase 1. It helps in the transcription of ribosomal RNAs. Second, RNA polymerase 2. It transcripts the precursor of the messenger RNA. That means hnRNA is the first form RNA which is having exons and introns, and messenger RNA is the final RNA which is formed after the transcription. So for the formation of hnRNA, this RNA polymerase 2 is used. Third one, RNA polymerase 3, it helps in the transcription of transfer RNA and other different types of small nuclear RNA also. So in prokaryote only one RNA polymerase is needed, whereas in case of eukaryote 3 types of RNA polymerase is needed. In case of prokaryote there is no post-translational modification required of the messenger RNA, whereas in case of eukaryote there is post-translational modification required in the form of RNA slicing. So these are some differences between the transcription between the prokaryote and the eukaryote. Now let us go through the slides where the whole write-up I have noted it down. I'll just start from the beginning. Transcription in eukaryote. The structural gene are monocistronic in eukaryote. We know that for one polypeptide, one type of structural gene is needed in case of eukaryote. 3 types of RNA polymerase are found. First one is RNA polymerase 1, which transcripts ribosomal RNA, that is rRNA, which can be 28S, 18S, 5S, all those types of them you can get it. Then RNA polymerase 2 transcription, it transcripts or it helps in the transcription of precursor of messenger RNA, which is called as hnRNA or the heterogeneous RNA. Then RNA polymerase 3, it helps in the transcription of transfer RNA, 5S ribosomal RNA, snRNA, that is a small nuclear RNA. So the main crust is that it requires 3 different types of RNA polymerase. Next one, the process of transcription is similar to that of prokaryote. I just told that it will follow the steps of initiation, elongation and termination, and then the change comes, that is the RNA slicing happens afterwards. It takes place in the nucleus. Naturally, eukaryote is having properly developed nucleus, so all these processes will happen in the nucleus, not in the nucleoid as in case of the prokaryote. Coding sequence called as exons and non-coding sequence called as introns are present in initial messenger RNA, or you can call it as initial hnRNA, the heterogeneous RNA. Introns are removed during RNA slicing. This is the post-translational modification. Now what happens in post-translational modification? The primary transcripts are non-functional, containing both coding regions called as exon and non-coding regions called as introns. So the RNA is called as hnRNA. hnRNA undergo capping and tailing to become functional, as we have discussed just now. In capping, an unusual nucleotide called as methyl guanosine triphosphate is added to the 5' end of hnRNA. In tailing, adenylate residue, which are 200 to 300 in units, are added at 3' end in the template in a independent manner. And now the hnRNA undergoes the process where introns are removed and exons are joined together to form the messenger RNA, and the process is called as splicing, or you can call it as RNA splicing. So this is how the whole process of transcription occurs in prokaryote as well as eukaryote. Both of them, they are nearly the same. Just the difference is in two factors. I am just revising. In case of prokaryote, only one type of RNA polymerase is there, whereas in case of eukaryote, there are three types of polymerase: polymerase 1, polymerase 2, polymerase 3. And the major change in the eukaryote is RNA splicing, that is capping and tailing is done to hnRNA to make it functional RNA. And what is functional RNA actually? It is the RNA which is devoid of introns, which are non-functional sequences present in hnRNA. This is all for today's lecture. Thank you, children.